The Sunday dinner table stretched the length of our family's dining room, laden with Mom's famous pot roast, roasted vegetables, and fresh bread. 18 family members crowded around, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, all gathered for what Mom called keeping traditions alive. I sat between my younger brother Marcus and Aunt Linda, quietly eating while conversation swirled around me. The house felt the same as always: creaky floorboards, the slightly crooked chandelier Dad never fixed, the water stain on the ceiling. My older sister Vanessa held court at the far end, gesturing dramatically about her latest business venture. She'd moved back 6 months ago after her startup failed, claiming she needed to regroup and strategize. "This pot roast is incredible, Mom," Uncle Frank said, reaching for seconds. "Thank you. It's nice to cook for a full house again." Mom glanced at Vanessa. "Having Vanessa home has been wonderful." Vanessa smiled. "I'm grateful you opened your home, though honestly, it feels more like my home than a transition space." Something in her tone made me look up. "You did grow up here," Dad said. "Exactly." Vanessa set down her fork, her expression shifting, which is actually something I wanted to discuss tonight. The table quieted. "Mom, Dad, you've been generous letting me stay, but it's time we talked about this house's future." She pulled a folder from her bag. "I've been researching property values, market conditions, and estate planning." Mom and Dad exchanged glances. "This house is worth approximately $1.2 million now. The neighborhood has appreciated significantly, and given that you're getting older, it makes sense to think about succession planning." "Vanessa," Dad said carefully, "what are you getting at?" "This house will eventually need to be passed down. Given that I'm the eldest, currently living here and maintaining it, and given my business acumen to manage an asset of this value, I think it makes sense to transfer the house to me." The silence was absolute. Marcus stopped eating. Aunt Linda's fork paused halfway to her mouth. My younger sister Claire looked stunned. "You want Mom and Dad to give you the house?" Claire asked sharply. "Not give, transfer, with proper legal documentation." Vanessa opened her folder. "I've consulted with an estate attorney. The transfer can minimize tax implications, and Mom and Dad can retain lifetime residency rights." "How generous," Marcus muttered. "This is a practical conversation about asset management. Someone needs to think about these things." Vanessa pulled out more papers. "I've drafted a preliminary agreement. Nothing binding, just a framework." Dad's face went red. "You drafted an agreement for our house without talking to us?" "I'm talking now, in front of the family, so everything's transparent. This is responsible estate planning." "Responsible?" Claire's voice rose. "You moved back 6 months ago because you were broke, and now you're trying to take their house?" "I'm not taking anything. I'm proposing a logical succession plan." "That benefits you," Marcus corrected. Vanessa's composure cracked. "I'm the one who's here, maintaining this property, paying for repairs, handling issues. Where were you when the furnace broke last month? When the roof needed patching, I dealt with it." "With whose money?" I asked quietly. Everyone turned. "Excuse me?" Vanessa said. "The furnace repair cost $4,200. Roof patching was $3,800. You told Mom and Dad you'd handle it. But you don't have that money, Vanessa. Your startup failed, owing $340,000. Your credit cards are maxed. Your bank account has $247 in it." The table went still. "How do you know about my finances?" Vanessa asked dangerously. "Because Mom worries. She shares things. And I've been paying attention." I set down my fork. "So whose money paid for those repairs?" Vanessa's jaw tightened. "I have resources you don't know about. You have credit cards in Mom and Dad's names that you've been using without their knowledge. That's fraud." Mom gasped. Dad stood. "What?" "Vanessa opened 2 credit cards using this address and your information 6 weeks after moving back. She's charged $23,400 on them. The statements come here, but she gets to the mail first." "That's a lie," Vanessa said, her face pale. "Dad, check your credit report. You'll see 2 Capital One accounts opened in September, one with a $12,100 balance, one with $11,300. Dad pulled out his phone immediately. Vanessa stood abruptly. "This is ridiculous. I don't have to listen to false accusations." "You're right. You don't have to be in this house at all." I reached into my bag, pulled out my folder. "Get your stuff and leave." Everyone watched as she waved the old house deed from her estate planning folder. "This is my parents' house," Vanessa said, gripping the deed. You can't tell me to leave. Actually, it's not. I opened my folder and pulled out my documents. It's mine. I purchased this property 32 days ago for $1.2 million cash. The room erupted. What? Mom said faintly. That's impossible, Vanessa said. So I pulled out the new ownership papers I'd signed last month. I laid them on the table, official county records, the property deed, transfer documents, all showing 847 Maple Street transferred from Robert and Helen Martinez to Jessica Martinez on October 15th. I bought the house from Mom and Dad last month, private sale, full market value. They're using the money to buy the retirement condo in Arizona they've always wanted. Dad nodded. We were going to tell everyone this weekend. Jesse asked us to wait until the paperwork was finalized. You sold the family house without telling us? Claire asked, hurt. We sold our house, Dad corrected. It was our decision. But Vanessa's living here, Marcus said. What happens to her? That's up to Jessica now, Dad said. It's her property. All eyes turned to me. Vanessa has 30 days to vacate. Standard notice for tenants without a lease. I'm being generous, considering she's not paying rent and has been committing credit fraud. Vanessa's face flushed. You can't do this. You can't just kick me out. I can. I'm the owner. I have every right to determine who lives in my property. Mom, Dad. Vanessa turned desperately. You can't let her do this. This is our home. It was our home, Mom said gently. But we needed to downsize. We wanted Arizona, near Aunt Carol. When Jessica offered to buy it, to keep it in the family, it seemed perfect. Perfect? She gets the house. The youngest? The one who moved away at 18? She's the only one who could afford it, Dad said. We needed full value, Vanessa, for retirement and medical expenses. We couldn't just give it away. What about me? I'm living here. Without permission, I said. Mom and Dad let you move back temporarily. You've overstayed, committed fraud, and tried to manipulate them into signing over their largest asset. Vanessa grabbed her folder and waved it. This is estate planning, responsible financial management. This is you trying to steal a $1.2 million house while contributing nothing. I pulled out more papers. I have 32 days of security camera footage. Yes, I installed cameras. They show you going through Mom and Dad's mail, opening credit cards, and forging signatures. Uncle Frank whistled low. The cameras also show you telling potential buyers the house was yours when 3 real estate investors came by last week. You were trying to sell my house without authorization. That's not. I was just. Vanessa stuttered. You were committing fraud, multiple types. I looked at my parents. Do you want to press charges? They looked at each other, a long, silent conversation. No charges, Mom finally said. But Vanessa, you need to leave and get help. I can't believe this. You're choosing her over me. We're choosing honesty over manipulation, Dad said. Vanessa stood there, gripping her useless folder, her plan collapsing. My phone buzzed. A text from the moving company, trucks in position, awaiting your signal. I'd planned this carefully, hired professional movers and had them wait 3 blocks away. I'll give you a choice, I told Vanessa. Pack your things calmly over the next week and move out with dignity. Or I can have moving trucks here in 10 minutes to pack everything for you, and you leave tonight. You're bluffing. I typed, proceed to the address. Begin packing bedroom, 2nd floor, northeast corner. Try me. Vanessa stared, testing, trying to determine if I was serious. Moving trucks arrived for her things during dessert. The rumble of engines made everyone turn. Through the window, 2 large moving trucks pulled up. 4 professional movers climbed out. You actually called movers, Vanessa breathed. My home. You're a tenant without a lease who's refused to leave. This is legal. The doorbell rang. I walked to the foyer and opened it. Ms. Martinez? The lead mover asked. That's me. Bedroom is 2nd floor, northeast corner. Pack everything carefully. It goes to storage unit 447 at Metro Storage. Here's the key. Storage paid for 3 months. Wait. Vanessa rushed over. You can't just pack my things. The mover looked at me. I showed him the property deed. I'm the owner. She's an unauthorized occupant. Please proceed. They filed past her, heading upstairs. Vanessa turned to face the family. You're all just going to sit there. No one moved. Mom? Dad? You tried to steal our house, Vanessa, Dad said quietly. Jessica bought it fairly. What happens now is between you and her. Claire? Marcus? My younger siblings looked uncomfortable but stayed seated. Unbelievable, Vanessa said. My own family. Your family tried to help you, I said. Mom and Dad gave you a place to live, supported you emotionally and financially. You repaid them by committing fraud and trying to take their home. Sounds of movement came from upstairs, dresser drawers opening, closet doors creaking. The movers will pack everything tonight. Your belongings go to climate-controlled storage paid through January. That gives you 90 days to figure out your next step. How generous, Vanessa said bitterly. It is generous. I could have put everything on the curb. Instead, I'm ensuring your belongings are safe while you find housing. Where am I supposed to go tonight? There's a Marriott 2 miles away. I've booked you a room for 1 week, already paid. I handed her a hotel key card. Vanessa stared at it like it might bite her. I've also compiled all evidence of the credit card fraud, the forged applications, the statements, the security footage. It's ready to submit to police if needed, but if you leave quietly tonight, cooperate with the movers, and close those fraudulent accounts immediately, I won't file charges. Blackmail, she whispered. Consequences. You committed crimes. I'm offering you a way to avoid prosecution if you do the right thing. The movers came downstairs carrying boxes, clothes, shoes, personal items. They moved efficiently, loading everything into the trucks. This is insane, Vanessa said, her voice losing its fight. You're really doing this. I really am. Cooperate and make this easy, or resist and make it difficult. Either way, you're leaving tonight. She looked around one last time, at the family watching her world collapse, at the movers packing her life, at the property deed showing ownership she'd never have. I hate you, she said finally. You hate that you couldn't manipulate your way into a free house, I replied. There's a difference. Vanessa grabbed her purse and walked out. She didn't say goodbye, just left, climbing into her car and driving away before the movers finished. The trucks pulled away 90 minutes later. The house felt emptier, quieter. Well, Uncle Frank said eventually, that was quite a dinner. Nervous laughter rippled through the room. Mom came to me, took my hands. You knew she'd react this way. That's why you had everything planned. I knew. I've been watching her scheme for weeks. The credit cards, the estate attorney, the real estate investors. She was building up to tonight. So you bought the house first, Dad said. I bought it because you needed to sell it, and I wanted to keep it in the family. But yes, I accelerated the timeline when I realized what Vanessa was planning. Claire approached. Are you keeping the house? Living here? Not living here, but keeping it as an investment property. You're all welcome anytime. It's still the family home, just not Vanessa's personal asset to steal. What happens now? Marcus asked. Now Mom and Dad finalize their Arizona condo. I hire a property manager. Vanessa figures out her life without fraud, and we all move forward. Will you forgive her? Mom asked quietly. Ask me when she apologizes. Really apologizes. Not for getting caught, for what she actually did. We cleaned up in relative silence. People left gradually, still processing what they'd witnessed. When everyone had gone, I stood in the empty dining room, looking at the space where Vanessa had announced her plan to take everything. My phone buzzed. A text from the storage facility. All items secured in Unit 447. Another text from Vanessa. I'll never forgive you for this. It typed back. I gave you a $1.2 million chance to do the right thing. You chose fraud instead. That's on you. No response. I locked up the house, my house, and drove home to my actual residence across town. Sometimes family means protecting the people who raised you from the people who'd exploit them. Even when the exploiter is your sister. Even when doing the right thing makes you the villain in someone else's story. The house would be fine. Mom and Dad would enjoy Arizona. Vanessa would eventually find her way, hopefully learning that manipulation doesn't build real success. And I'd sleep well knowing it stopped a con before it could destroy my parents' retirement. That was worth being hated. That was worth everything.